The Tiger's Nest is a radio program that comes to you every Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Caribbean Time, exclusively on Radio Anu. Tune in and experience a classroom-type atmosphere where we elevate into the realms of history, theology, anthropology, astronomy, and much, much more. Not able to tune in? No problem. I have the solution for that. If you become a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest, you will receive the program every day via your email as it appears in your inbox every morning. So you will never miss another episode of the Tiger's Nest again. Contact us today at email priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com and choose your subscription plan. Very, very inexpensive. You pay an average of 35 cents per program, family, when you take a year's package. Can you believe that? The Tiger's Nest radio programming, an average of 35 cents you will pay when you take the annual package. So just email us and join the Tiger's Nest subscription team. priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. No apostrophe S's. Blessed love. And of course, we give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I, in all good doings and sayings. And I'm just reminding everyone, of course, as you're supping with us, that it is Sunday, the 28th day of November 2021. I hope you are prepped and prepared for the upcoming online lecture entitled Africa's Warriors on the Front Line. Remember, this is our latest installment as it relates to our online lectures. This one will be presented by myself, the Honorable Priest Isaac, also my wonderful daughter, the Honorable Princess Akisha Menin. So both of us will be presenting this marvelous presentation, and we're asking you, as always, bring the young ones, let them sit in with us. It's going to be a classroom type of atmosphere. Of course, PowerPoint presentation, enough inspiration, and a few surprises as well. The Honorable Princess Akisha Menin already has her lineup, and we're going to be talking about some of the mighty warriors, not just empresses and queens, but the sisters on the battlefield standing up for their country, their family, their husbands, their nation, their God. This is going to be a wonderful presentation. Of course, to be there, all you have to do is email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. Visit the website, priestisaacinstitute.com. Of course, the link is in the description below. Even the links for the CashApp and the PayPal, where you could make your admission payment, which is only $15, family. And you get your e-ticket for the lecture hall where we will be having that online lecture. And remember, if you get your ticket before Friday, the 19th day of November, Friday the 19th, if you buy your ticket by Friday the 19th, so if today is Friday the 19th, you should get your $10 ticket today. Yes, $10 you get it for if you purchase it Friday the 19th. So we're definitely looking forward to your presence Sunday the 28th day of November. And family, what I have in store for you right now is something you definitely want to hear. I'm pulling something from the archives here, and this is something we should all sit into as it relates to our growth and evolution in this economical, financial state of mind. A lot of us, we are afraid to talk about these things. We're so afraid that even when we see others, on the entrepreneur level, we get scared and we ask them, oh, why are you selling this and why are you selling that? You should give it away free, which clearly shows we have no understanding of what's taking place in this world. So family, let us follow along with this one. And this is going to be grand.
When Steve Jobs died, most people don't know this, he only owned 0.6% of Apple stock. Think about it. The CEO, the founder, only ended up owning 0.6% of stock Now, some people say, well, it's because he left, he went to Next, and he sold that. Okay, I get it. Still, 0.6%. Microsoft, Bill Gates. So many people became wealthy with Microsoft. So many people became wealthy with Amazon. So many people become wealthy. Anything that's ever at the highest scale, wealth has to be created by multiple people. The Clippers organization is owned by a former employee of Microsoft. The Seattle Seahawks and Paul Allen, Trailblazers. It's owned by, it's a former Microsoft. So when you go and study this, you will notice that a lot of people who create their wealth do it that way. I remember one time I had a gentleman I was working with, and he was Jewish, and he would always tell me things about why the Jewish community has money and makes money. And so say, you know what, very, very vocal guy, big personality, always had money, always made money, and everybody that touched him also made money with him. I said, so, what is it? He says, let me tell you the key to success to the Jewish community business people. I said, what is it? He said, when we make money, a lot of people make money. He says, you know what happens when you make money? A lot of people make money. I said, what's that? Everybody constantly wants to go in business with you because why? Every time they go in business with you, who makes money? A lot of people make money.
Now, if you notice, oh, pardon me, but if you notice, he's speaking about the Jewish community there. Now, this is something we speak about all the time, and when I say me, when I say we, I'm not necessarily speaking of myself as such, but those of us who are conscious and aware of the importance of what he's talking about, the sharing of the wealth. And this is a brother from Iran, if I'm not mistaken, at least originally, who was given his story and has come up through a little hardship, etc., etc. But whatever the case is, still highlighting that for us as a people, our wealth doesn't really circulate in our community. Black people are talking about, no, man, circulate. In certain communities, like the Jewish community, the dollar goes around about 16 times. That is the statistics. In certain other communities, Chinese, especially in the Western world, when they come together in certain white neighborhoods, it's like 12, 11 times. They say the black man money dollar doesn't even go around one full time before it jumps out of the circle. And that's a very serious thing, meaning that we don't buy with ourselves, we don't shop with ourselves, none of these different things. We don't support each other. We are way off. Trust me, we are way off when it comes to wealth. So we believe, well, somehow we've bought into the thing that wealth is this singular stuff and work as hard as you can and see how much you can save. And see if you can send your kids to college and see how much degrees they can pile up. The more degrees, the more money. Is that so? I tell you, almost every other person has one of them degrees. No offense to nobody on the degree. I just trying to show you, or some little thing, or something, or some masters of this, or some this, and you could see we just buy into it. I have my PhD. Oh, congratulations! But PhD, what? You don't even know what. You just hear PhD. I have my bachelor's. Oh, that's good. Congratulations. Bachelor's in what? You don't even know. But it's just the standard of the system. And we jump and perk for it. And I'm not discouraging anyone. Just I always have to bring this in just to be clear. I'm not discouraging anyone in pursuing your certification. Do what you think you gotta do. You understand? Just try to be careful with all them debts they put you in. I don't know what kind of madness is this. They really tie you up and tie you down with this thousands of dollars of debt that you owe them for an education that you can hardly use in the world. Some of it, that's just the reality of it, But the point being made here, the sharing of the wealth, as he's saying, in the Jewish community, that's how they move. Everyone touching dinero, nobody being left out because of their culture.
With him, I said, so, what is it? He says, let me tell you the key to success to the Jewish community business people. I said, what is it? He said, when we make money, a lot of people make money. He says, you know what happens when you make money? A lot of people make money. I said, what's that? Everybody constantly wants to go in business with you because why? Every time they go in business with you, who makes money? A lot of people make money. So you keep getting people that keep coming and doing business with you. Now, some of you may say, that's not true. I know this guy that he made his money and it was all him and all this. Fine. He's probably not going to get a lot of people that are going to want to follow him and do business with him from the past. If you generally see that nobody from the past is continuously doing business with a person, it's either that person chose, it's the other people said, when he makes money, only he makes money, nobody else makes money. You got to learn how to share the wealth where you continuously have deals for the rest of your life. Number 4, leverage. It's very critical. Leverage. Millionaires master leverage. They are master at understanding leverage. And I think one of the reasons why they understand leverage is the sooner you learn that in order to do anything big, you need a team, is the sooner you'll start scaling at a very fast pace. You know, especially a lot of the driven, self-motivated guys that had high GPAs or did very good in school and they had good grades and they were always good at doing the homework right and nobody does it better than me, I'm a perfectionist, they typically have the hardest time. They typically have the hardest time. The guys that didn't have the best grades and they were kind of played a little bit of sports, they generally don't have a hard time with this. You know why? Because they've always needed help. So it's kind of like, man, I need help. I still need help.
That's very interesting. Because it's important, eh? Listen, another speaker was saying that, and one of his clients was asking, like, when is the best time to hire? When is the best time to seek help? And he said, well, the best time to hire is when you're ready to advance, when you're ready to grow your business. You seek more people to come on board. And it's not just about hiring, it's not just about giving someone employment. It's also about partnering as well. Some people like to say partnership is a leaky ship. Nothing, I mean, that's not necessarily the case. Things may go bad between different people, but so what he's saying here is so key, so important, that it is showing you now the meditation as it, please pardon me for that. It is showing you the meditation that even when it comes to the whole aspect of the finance and the gathering and the oneness of the unity as it relates to the dollar, we're showing you again that, you know, amongst just pardon me there, amongst I and I, that oneness is not there, and we think that, yeah, this can just be done by ourselves, you know, see who can get the best job. And that's really it. And it's a culture. That's why sometimes you have to get to the root of it. You have to really attack the culture. It is the culture that is really even, you know, drowning down the ability for us to rise out of many levels of the poverty that we find ourselves in. I mean, that example I was just given. If you have a community where the dollar goes around about 16 times, and you have a next community when the dollar goes halfway around the circle, it drop out the circle, so everybody don't touch it. That's a serious condition to look at. So that is why now you see it's important that to pool resources together. Haile Selassie speak about that as far as even Rastafari, organize, centralize, come together. You know, so ones that come together and help to carry the load are usually the ones that prosper. Again, everybody should be touching their arrow.
Help. But the ones that typically have independently, were very good at homework, they have a hard time knowing that they need help. Leverage is a very, very big deal. So you got to learn how to delegate. What do you delegate? What do you not delegate? How do you manage and study a certain thing that you're delegating to somebody to see if they can fully come through with it? Crowdsourcing. One of my favorite questions to ask our staff are, it doesn't matter who it is, I love to ask, what do you think? What do you think about this? What do you think about this idea? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? What are your thoughts? And I like to ask every different type of personality, somebody who is very skeptical but very technical and smart, somebody who is action excited. Tell me what gets you excited about this. Somebody who's normally in the middle and you don't get a lot of reaction. I want to see all because I want to know what they think about it. That's part of leverage. So leverage is, you know, team, recruiting, sales, software, technology, social media, everything, marketing, branding, collaborating, everything is leverage. How can I leverage to make this thing go faster? Leverage. Number five. This is a skill set they master. Let me tell you, recruiting, recruiting. Let me explain. You recruit a media platform to want to build you up. You recruit talent. You recruit executives. You recruit the best salespeople. You recruit people who are friends that want to go into business with you. You recruit solid high identity associations. You recruit good friends. You recruit, other people who are extremely successful that also want to associate with you. You recruit them. That's not to sell them anything. That's to sit down and talk, and you're learning from one another. You recruit a board. You recruit an advisory board. You recruit the best mentors. Millionaires are great at recruiting the best mentors, partners, investors. They're incredible at networking. They're incredible at connecting. They're incredible at doing any of those things, because recruiting to them, they know I am one executive away from scaling my business into doubling my revenues. I'm one salesperson away, or one sales leader away from incredibly growing my sales volume of sales by 50, 100, 200, 300%. If I get one strong sales leader, if I get one leader that comes in and does, they know that. So everything to them is about recruiting. Point number 6. This one's also strange, but I'll tell you. Energy management. Energy management. What is energy management? I still don't drink coffee. I just got off the phone with a major player at the AIG who sent me a very, very nice gift. Mark, thank you for sending that nice gift that you send out. But we were talking about energy, and he says, you got a newborn. Are you getting any sleep? I said, yeah, I'm trying to get some sleep. I'm waking up every 2 hours with the baby. And says, so are you still not drinking coffee? I said, I'm still not drinking coffee. So do you do Red Bull? Do you do this? I don't do any of that stuff. I personally don't do any of that stuff. But I have to figure out a way on how to manage my energy, because my energy, without it, I can't do anything. And anybody who becomes a millionaire, those who don't, they generally quit at some point. They quit at $100,000 a year income. They quit at 150, 200, 300, 400. But everybody quits at some point. Okay, some people go to the very end and then they quit when they die. But a lot of people quit after 2, 3, 4 years of going all in. Most people don't go for a long time. Keep that part in mind. So energy management is, what can I do for me to increase my energy? So generally I get tired after working 8 hours. I don't want to get tired after 8 hours. What can I do? Maybe I'm going to go 10 hours. Maybe I'm going to go 12 hours. So I like to stand up and work, because this one my body is standing up. So every time I'm doing this, my body's moving. And when I sit now, I may take a break and I sit, my energy goes lower, then boom, I stand up again, my body's moving, things are happening. So figuring out ways to manage your energy to know how long you can go. Figuring out how you can go on little to no sleep. I know that sounds strange to some people. How do you do that? Your fitness routine, your diet, all of that is part of energy management. Number 7, anybody who's been following my content for a while, I made a video that was called the most important thing to teach my children, right? And it's called what? How to process issues. Millionaires learn how to process issues. They learn how to problem solve. They learn how to sit there and say, if we need this, we need to do this, 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 this. They know how to think about a problem and come out with a 1, 2, 3 step to doing something. Hey, we need to figure this part out. Let's call that person, then call this person, email that guy, call this guy, let me call this person and say, okay, we got it. Here's what we need to do. That person's willing to do this. That person's not interested, but we need to call them back in the next 6 months. All this stuff that goes, but it's purely on learning how to process issues. And a part of learning how to process issues, I put this point, it was going to be separate, but I added in this, is within processing issues, where everybody's always bringing them ideas. We should do this, we should buy this, we should do that, we should do that. They also become very good at saying no to 90% of things. Keep that part in mind. They say no to 90%. They also become very good at saying no to 90% of things. Keep that part in mind. They say no to 90% of things, because they're trying to identify which areas worth them putting their time into and not their time into, which areas worth them putting their resources into and not putting their resources into, which is part of processing issues. Number 8 is time management. They learn time management. And generally you learn time management because a lot of times a rookie entrepreneur may not even make it, because they're spending way too much time on Facebook newsfeed. They're spending way too much time on a game, or they're spending way too much time on Snapchat following everybody else. They're spending way too much time on Instagram or all that other stuff, and they're not putting a lot of time into selling, front end, prospecting, creating, networking, relationship. They're not in the hunt, right? So you don't make it. You go straight to the cemetery of entrepreneurs who are millions and billions of people buried there who didn't make it. They tried and they didn't make it there. Time management
all what he's saying is so important. Everything that he kind of fits home there is of the utmost importance. The time, following people's feed. One supposed to be creating, putting themselves out front, at the same time promoting and advertising and so many different things.
Facebook newsfeed. They're spending way too much time on a game, or they're spending way too much time on Snapchat following everybody else. They're spending way too much time on Instagram or all that other stuff, and they're not putting a lot of time into selling, front end, prospecting, creating, networking, relationship. They're not in the hunt, right? So you don't make it. You go straight to the cemetery of entrepreneurs who are millions and billions of people buried there who didn't make it. They tried and they didn't make it there. Time management is when you learn how to make a 1.5 hour appointment become an hour and still effective. How you learn a 30-minute phone call to become 10 minutes. How you learn to leave a message that's an effective message, yet it's not a 6-minute message or a 4-minute message. They learn how to say a message in a bit of a faster way. They know what area they don't need to put time on and say, this is relationship. I'm not putting a deadline on this because this is relation. Because sometimes you can also be the complete opposite without, okay, I gotta go. And then the other person is offended by it because they're also busy and you're busy. It's kind of like, listen, I'm as busy as you are, so don't give me this I'm busy type of thing. Everybody's busy at this point. So sometimes people that play that card when they're not, it kind of rubs people the wrong way who they're already in the hunt at a high different level. So time management, they understand that. But they become very good on the time management side. Work, hours, week, all in. It's strange how they still find ways to save their sanity because you have to stay sane to go long term. You don't hear a lot of the people that make it to the highest of levels taking way too many vacations. You generally don't hear that, but they'll do a schedule of Saturday, boom, go Sunday, and then Monday they come back to refuel. You'll hear them on Sunday being at a spa or a hotel all day and laying out and relaxing. You'll see them doing those sorts of things for them to re-energize. A lot of rookie entrepreneurs that get to 100, 200, 300, or $400,000 a year income, vacation. They're wondering how come they don't absolutely explode and scale because they're more concerned about vacation rather than doing the work. So
this time management thing is so key, man. And even the way the brother is explaining it is definitely on point. Obviously, you see, that is why you definitely cannot be a workaholic to the point where you're going nonstop. I think that is obvious. You have to refresh yourself. That's why nature itself will make you actually lock off. We call it go to sleep. Whether you like it or not, you try just going and see if you're gonna drop down somewhere. Because you got to recharge, just plug back into the wall, wherever that wall is, and come afresh. So it's needed. But if you can break yourself down to 3 hours and 4 hours of what they call sleep a day or a night, well, that's good. That's really good. But some may need a bit more. And as he's saying, just what you eat and how you eat and the things that you put into your structure that will energize you and keep you alive and keep you awake. All of that is very, very, very key and very important even in this.
Doing those sorts of things for them to re-energize. A lot of rookie entrepreneurs that get to 100, 200, 300.
And even clearly going into that as well. That is why the Sabbath is so important, that day of rejuvenation, even for the mind, because the Sabbath is a mind thing too, where even certain conversations and certain things you just don't even talk about. So the mind is resting on a certain degree. The physical, as it relates to whatever work you do, is taking a break, but it's praises time. And yet still there's even other times that one must find, for there's several fasting days in the strong. And as he said, some people will take the time to go at a spa and, as people say, pamper themselves and treat themselves. Not too often now, just enough to refresh and come again, because it's a battlefield. There are those who actually try to live that life, and as he said, never exceed where they are or hit their true potential. And then, there are those of us who are very selfish and say, well, listen, man, I'm a millionaire. I don't need to be a billionaire. That's extremely selfish. That means there's not enough love. I wouldn't say you don't have no love, but there's not enough love in your heart that you'd want to feed more people. That's what it's all about. Oh, why would I want a house with 20 rooms? I mean, maybe you can house 20 families. Why you don't want, what's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? You're supposed to want as much as possible so you could help as much as possible. But you see, we're not thinking like that. We think you're greedy. We think you're greedy because you want, how we as Bobo Shanti, we say 7 or 9 miles of high water ships, not 7 or 9 ships, 7 or 9 miles of ship to facilitate the repatriation. So something wrong if we purchase our own ship, or not even purchase them, build them.
$400,000 your income, vacation. They're wondering how come they don't absolutely explode and scale, because they're more concerned about vacation rather than doing the work. So that is a part of the millionaire's mindset as well. 9, how to manage money. You have to learn how to manage money, because everything to you is risk. Everything to you is, you have these type of resources and it's depleting. What can you do to make the number keep coming up? So the income is increasing your savings that you have all in place. Accounting, timing of buying something you can't afford or can't afford. I remember when we first started a company, a PHP agency, I told my wife, I said, for 5 years, I'm not buying a house. And she said, babe, we can afford to buy a house. I said, I'm telling you, I'm not buying a house for 5 years. Babe, it's only $300,000 down payment. Baby, I'm not buying a house for 5 years. And I made it very clear. So she knew. I don't even want to talk about buying a house, because everything that came in is going back into the business. Everything. We rented for the first 5 years of me being in, and we could afford to buy a house, but we rented. And then we bought a house. Then it's a different story. Why? Because I could do a lot more with that $300,000 in the company than I could with $300,000 down payment on a house, or $600,000 down payment on a house. Why would I want to do that? I don't want to do that. I want to stretch the money and make that $600,000 $6 million. Why would I want to tie that money up to something automatically right now? I don't need to be doing that.
Very, very smart. But of course, the society that we live in, again, the false culture teaches you as soon as you can afford it, you buy the house. As soon as you can afford it. You just barely can afford it, make sure you get that car. As soon as, no, of course you need a house. Of course you need a car. But the fact that you are definitely in a position that you could rent a proper space to live and lease a proper vehicle to move in, yes, maybe you can buy, but now you're utilizing that same finance and bringing it to a point where it can continually flip and flip and flip until you can more. Then when it's time now, you could buy 10 houses and you take the money and buy one. And you still have money left back that you could buy 10 houses or 9 houses, 8, whatever the case is, just because of patience as such in growth of money management.
So risking it, saving to be able to risk more. One of the things about Apple that they're known for is they're very much about cash. And the reason why they're always been known as stingy, or all this criticism that people gave to Apple, they have cash to make decisions. Google has cash to make decisions. Companies have cash to make decisions. And when you have cash, when you want to buy something, you can do that. So cash is a very, very big part of managing money as well. So number 9 is how to manage money. Number 10 is how to be aggressively patient. This is kind of strange, because how do you become aggressively patient? 1, you are so aggressive and assertive on your part on what you can do to grow, but psychologically you're patient to know everything's going to work out. Because listen, I'm telling you, the reason why I believe anybody and everybody could become a millionaire, because there's a formula to it. And some of the people that hate it when I say that is because they tried and they quit too early, or they don't want to work that hard. So it upsets them, because they would rather have an escape to say, it's not true, you have to be smart, you have to be from a wealthy family. I'm not smart, I'm not from a wealthy family. I learned. I read 1,100 books because I was just feeding my mind constantly. So it's not, I don't come from a wealthy or very intelligent, intellectual type of, I come from a simple, hardworking family is what I come from. So But you're gonna have to learn a part that is just working. Patient. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. Working. And the reason why patience would come, say whatever product you sell. So let's just say it's real estate. If I know every week I plant 100 new seeds, whether it's for a loan officer that I can build a relationship for him to use me as a realtor, whether it's to hardcore accountants that are working in a market that I want him to refer me as a realtor to their client, whether it's a community of everybody that buys and sells homes, every week I add 100 people to my seed. I'm planting 100 seeds. 2 weeks, that means I have how many seeds? 200 seeds. 300 seeds, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. I know something's about to happen. I know I'm about to get a call and say, hey, Patrick, this is John giving you a call. You and I met about 3 months ago, and you were a realtor. We got your car. Look, we're thinking about selling our house, and we'd like to get together with you. We really like your approach. Are you available for us to get together later on today? Sure, excellent. Because I'm doing this, I'm guaranteed to get this. I know for a fact this is going to happen. Most people, the reason why they don't get this, they're like, there's these 3 guys. If they buy the house from me, I'm going to be a millionaire. There's these 2 people. If they do business with me, they're just waiting on those 2, 3 people. It's not going to work. Seed. Boom, patient. It's coming, it comes. Then all of a sudden, when the floodgates open, let me tell you, you better get the bank to be ready. When the floodgates opens, then it's just like, then you're saying, I can't meet today, but here's what I could do. I can send one of my associates to meet with you, and you can come to my office tomorrow. Now you're not going, now the people are coming to you because demand's high on you. Everybody wants to work with you. You have credibility. That's what I mean by aggressively patient. And the last point I'll make here to you, here is this. Those skill sets that these millionaires master, one of the skill sets that they master is learning. Now, this is kind of straight. Do you master learning? Yes. They're constantly focused on improvement. How can I become better in this? How can I become better in that? How can I become better in this? How can I make the company better? How can I make the customer service better? How can I make the product better? How can I make my communication skill level better? How can I make my this level? How can I make, everything is about improving. Everything to them. How can we beat our prior best? What's the most we ever did in here? 68? Let's do 72 this month. What's the most we ever done over here? We did 102. Let's try to break that number. What's the most you ever done? What's the most calls you made in a maid? What's the most appointments you ran in a week? Everything is let's beat that. Because it's always constantly about improvement. Then all of a sudden, every department is getting better and improving. So they're learning. They're all about self-education. They have a beginner's mindset. Let me explain. Sometimes when you see people that have made money and they're extremely cocky, they no longer have the beginner's mindset. They've already surpassed what they thought they're going to make money-wise. So beginner's mindset is somebody that's so curious. How do I do this? How do I get this better? What do I do about this? How do I do that? How do I get this thing? What do I do that? Everything is about learning. That's all they're doing. They want to learn is what they're doing, right? So everything is about constantly beating their prior best. Who do I work well with? Who do I not work well with? What do I need to improve? I need to change this weakness part of my attitude that doesn't work well. This type of people, I need to get better at working with women or men or couples, or I need to work better with people who are twice my age or half my age. I need to learn how to work that area better. So those are 11 skill sets that millionaires master. And my challenge to you is, if there are any areas here that you want to say, man, I want to get better at that as well.
No, let me just say, although we didn't touch all the 11 skill sets, but for sure what we touched there was very important. Even one of the last points that he made there, I mean, is reality. Some people that you see are very cocky within their attitude. They have actually surpassed maybe where they thought they would have reached. So it's almost like if they're so shocked, then it's like, yeah, I'm here and I'm better than you, whatever the case is. I mean, it's just a reality. And that's why he's speaking about even managing and disciplining your attitude. Yeah, so I think there's a lot that we could definitely take from this. A lot of good information, a lot of good points, and just keeping that attitude up.